Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. You read it in the title. Yes, I'm finally going to Lüderitz and fulfilling a life dream of mine. I've been watching this event for the last 10 years or so and been following all the speeds and everything from all the guys who went there, watching Antoine Albo's world record of 52 and then 53 knots. And yeah, as a speed surfer myself, this has just been like the ultimate goal for so long. But back when I was in university, I just didn't have the money because the event is super expensive. Not just the entry fee, but also getting there because it's in Namibia, somewhere in the desert, and the next airport is quite far away. So yeah, it wasn't really on the table for me to go while I was still studying. And this year I didn't even really plan on going, but there was just basically an entry spot that freed up last minute. So I got in contact with Rafi, who is the organizer of the event, and yeah, we made it happen, and now I'm going. I have a spot for 2 weeks over there, but I will be there for longer. And it all being so last minute, I just want to quickly talk you through everything that's going on and the preparation to get to the Luderitz Speed Challenge. And of course, while I'm there, I will do as many videos as I can to give you guys the best insight from this ultimate speed world record chase. So yeah, I knew for about 3 or 4 weeks now that I will be going, and I had to prepare everything basically last minute. I've been looking at flights for the past few weeks, and now I finally booked a flight. And you have the option, if you want to go to Namibia, to either fly to Cape Town, which is in South Africa, and then drive about 1,200 kilometers through the desert, and you have to cross the border from South Africa to Namibia. And the other option is to actually fly to Windhoek, which is the capital of Namibia. And the flights to that airport are kind of more expensive and more rare. But in the end, I found a really cheap flight to Windhoek. And this is much nicer because then I only have to drive 600 kilometers through the desert now. And yeah, that's what I went with. But guys, the flight isn't even the expensive part, because booking gear on an international flight, windsurfing gear that is to say, is even more expensive than the flight itself actually. So now I will be going on the 26th of October, so already in about 2 weeks time, and I already booked an apartment. So I will have the spot of week 2 and week 3 during the Luderitz Speed Challenge, because you book the slots in weeks, and I will be there around 10 days before my first day on the canal. And the thought is to do some videos prior to that. And also there's like this beautiful open ocean spot where you can basically speed surf every day where there's a bit of wind. The only problem is I think there's some sharks, and with some I mean a lot, which all the guys are telling me. So I've never really been in shark infested water, so this will be also quite interesting. I will take you along on the journey. But yeah, then from the 7th of October, the next 2 weeks, I have the spot at the canal. And of course I need to be lucky with the conditions that I get some good days during this 2 week slot, but I'm hoping for the best, and I just want to push myself as far as I can and do the best that I can. And in order to do that, I did a lot of preparation. Now, of course, it was quite late, as I only knew for a couple of weeks now that I will be going. But basically what I've been trying to do is optimize my equipment to get it as best as possible. And I have to say, I'm feeling really confident with my sails this year, because I have this Speed Proto sails by 0.7, and they work really well, especially on a really broad course, which Luderitz is, because the wind is coming from like an angle of 140 degrees there. So it's really nice to have sails that work in especially these conditions. And then I needed to organize a new speedboard, because what I use here in open ocean, the 45 AV speed, is not really the board you want for the canal. You want something narrower than that. So I also organized a 40 wide speedboard now, which is 5 centimeters narrower than the speedboard I usually use. And this should be the optimal board for me and my body weight for the canal. And yeah, my goal really is to reach 50 knots. And yeah, either that be on the max speed, that would be nice. And even nicer would be to get it on the 500 meters, but I have to be realistic. And in the 2 weeks, I might not get the conditions to do that, but let's hope for the best. And I will certainly push as hard as I can. And the other thing for such an event is I want to be in the best shape possible to go there. And what does that mean? Well, for speed surfing, weight actually really helps. So what I've been trying to do over the past weeks and until I get there is to gain as much weight as I can. Well, not as much as I can, because I don't want to like totally blow my stomach out and get fat, guys. But yeah, I've been trying to get to the gym as often as I can, about 3 to 4 times a week. And on top of that, I just don't want to gain weight, because if you're not flexible and if you're not fit, this could prevent you from doing lots of runs because you're quickly out of breath. So I've also been trying to do as much cardio as I can. I've been jogging a lot and stuff like that, and also doing some yoga for the flexibility. And basically that was my preparation. My weight has already gone up now from 86 to 88.5 kilograms, so around 2.5 kilos. And I'm trying to get to 90 kilograms, so 1.5 kilograms to go, because I really want to be 90 kg for this event, which is the heaviest I've ever been. And I don't recommend this to anyone who's not going for such a speed race, because yeah, I don't really feel super good at 90 kgs, but I think it's still like a safe spot for me to just gain around 4 to 5 kilograms and not overdo it. So that's basically my plan going in. Of course, once you're there, you're actually going to put some lead in your impact vest to gain even more kilograms on the canal. But really having like natural body weight is much better than adding like lead on top of your body, which feels really unnatural. And yeah, now the last thing I need to do is actually book a rental car, which is not so easy there, because I've looked at all the rental car companies in Windhoek, and there's basically only these very small cars, which are like a VW Polo or something like that, where you cannot fit the windsurfing gear inside. And then there's these 4x4, which are also not ideal for fitting windsurfing gear in them, because they're like pickup trucks, and on the back you have like one spot and inside another spot, but they are both not long enough to fit windsurfing gear. So I'm kind of struggling at the moment. With the last bit of preparation is to find a good rental car that will fit my equipment, because the Polo is like 1,000 euro for 4 weeks, and then everything bigger, which they don't really have, is like 3,000 euros for 4 weeks. So I'm trying to find some deal which doesn't totally destroy my budget for the trip, but I'm confident I will find something, or I will just put it on the roof, or let's see, you will see in the next videos. But yeah, I just wanted to get this update video out so you guys know what I'm doing at the moment and what's to come on this channel. And I'm really excited to make as many videos over there as I can and take you guys along on the journey. And yeah, if you want to support the channel even more than by subscribing and liking the videos, which also helps a great deal, is I also have a Patreon where you can support me. Over there I'm publishing some additional articles on the blog, so to say, where I do some behind the scenes stuff and what I'm thinking, and like a bit more in depth than what I'm doing here on the YouTube channel. So if you really want to support the channel and this trip, you can go over there, and I think from as little as €3 per month you can support me and this voyage over there, and that's greatly appreciated to everyone who's supporting the channel over there. And yeah, basically making videos like that possible, because with such a small channel in such a small niche sport, you don't really earn a lot of money over YouTube itself. But anyway, now I'm trying to figure out the last few details for the trip, and then I will be going, and yeah, super excited right now. I hope next weekend we actually get some wind here, because it looks like we might have a storm brewing on the horizon, and that would be super nice to get at least 1 or 2 speed sessions in before the trip actually starts, so I can get some feeling on the speedboard. But if the wind doesn't come, I will be there 10 days prior and can train at Diaz Point, where I will of course also be making videos, hopefully without sharks, but let's see. And yeah, just wanted to give you this update, guys. Thanks to my Patreon supporters and all the supporters for the trip. I will talk more about all of my sponsors once I'm actually in Lüderitz. And thanks to everyone who's supporting this trip. And that's just it for today. A quick update video, because there hasn't been any wind. I cannot give you any action, which sucks, because no wind, no action. But hopefully next week we get some action and then go to Lüderitz, and yeah, let's try to get some records over there. Cheers!